I was with my parents. My father was going to open a business in Winnipeg. People were saying to my mother and father how for tonight they were to get on the Titanic. I was excited because I was going on a wonderful big ship. I had no fear or apprehension or anything. She was very beautiful, luxurious beyond words. It was the first time I'd been on a border ship. Captain Smith was a dick, and he was very nice. He had a beard like my own grandfather, and he admired a doll I had. On the third night, I was sound asleep. My mother woke me and said, "I'm going to dress you." But before she could, my father came out from deck and said, "You best put this coat on that while I'll sail." Standing on deck, I could see it around the funnel. My father came back and said, "The ship was strowed an iceberg." My father had no difficulty in putting me and my mother in lifeboat, but he made no attempt to get in himself. When we were in the water, we could hear people rushing about the deck. That is when the panic must have started. When they found where stand any lifeboat left, I was terrified. I didn't know what a shipwreck would mean or how long it would take, but it was terrified. To do anything but seek for my father, I knew left behind. Before she sank, she was a very full ship, stationary on the ocean, without headlights. It was dreadfully cold, but the sea was the calmest ever seen. The starlight night was the brightest I'd ever seen. I looked back and saw the whole of that tragedy, and I saw the ship split in half. The front part went down and left their stem sticking up in a horrifying fashion. It was enormous. I seemed to stick up in the air for a long time, and then it gradually went down, turning over. And after that were what sound of the world's disaster, and there was people drowning. That is something you could never forget. And then dreadfully silence then followed. I seemed, if he was standing still. It was discovered that my lifeboat was undercrowded, and the officer in charge of the boat decided he would get rid of his load by putting people in other boats. I got separated from my mother and didn't find her until the next day. The next day, the ivory were like white sails in the distance, whitewashed by the sun of them. They were beautiful. They were around us. The crew of the ship that rescued us were kind of ghosts. We were wearing clothes because I only had my nightclothes and a blanket around me. I had nightmares from the time I sank until I was 23. I thought I wouldn't like to say I am not friendly of the sea. I lost a lot of horror. I never seen been in anything touching the Titanic. A beauty, she was lovely.